Good morning and big up to everybody joining me. It's your boy MarkN MUFC fan, and you know what it is? It's the morning views daily update, guys. It's what we're gonna say. It's a 1-1, a draw at home. Not much what we've been expecting, but the result is what it is, guys. We gotta keep it moving. At least we can say that the performances has been much better. You've been seeing the team creating a lot of chances in the last few weeks. Sure, we need to be more clinical, and sure, we need to be a little bit better defensively, a little bit more compact, you know. But at the same time, we're coming off a season where the performances have not been amazing. We've been struggling with a lot of injuries, and probably taken away from the repetition of the patterns in the play and the style, and the ideals and principles of the system. But the manager, has been under a lot of scrutiny. He's not, by any means not at fault for part of the stuff that's been happening to the squad, because we will all agree he has not always made the best substitutions and he has not always made the best tactical decisions. But I would say that if you look at it objectively, with all that has happened with this squad, just to imagine that we've never really fallen out of the top six is pretty much somewhat consistent, saying in the fact that, with a poor performing team and a lot of injuries, we're not even going to fall to 10th. What's Chelsea's excuse? What's De Zerbi's excuse at Brighton? You know, I mean, if you look at Newcastle, they're suddenly making a charge, but they've been spending most of the season in 11th as well. So it's one of those things where all these other managers get the prop, they get the claps, they get a little bit of good favor, but their performances have all been sub Ten Hag. And for large parts of the season, they did not struggle with the injuries we have, or a takeover saga, or the problems with players being, undermining the manager, as well as the two abuse incidents with the two players, one of them in the squad, one is out on loan. Of course, we also had the Ronaldo incident as well. So there's been a lot of things, that this manager has to deal with. So you know what? I'm just going to get into the press conference with him right now. Big up to all of you joining me. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. And those of you on X, don't forget to give a cheeky retweet. Big up to all of you, and let's get it started, guys. Guys, it's going to be a tough morning, tough week ahead, but let's hear what the manager had to say after the game, his comments. I'm going to bring it to the stage, and then I'm going to bring my buddy Drex onto the screen so we can react to this. Let's hear what the manager had to say about Burnley.
Rick, what's your assessment of that? Again, your team gets in a winning position near the end of the game and doesn't see the game out.
Yeah, the facts, and we really should step up there. It shouldn't happen. It's so necessary when you work so hard, and also I think you work good together, and you like over a long period you control the game, loads of chances. So apart from the second part, first half, where we conceded a couple of chances with good saves from Andre, but the rest of the game was all ours. And then you were in a winning position and you give it away.
I mean, that has happened so much over the last few weeks. Why?
It's a variation of reason. So this is very different to the ones before. The only thing is, it's again a penalty. There was some penalties included. Chelsea, Liverpool, and now again. And I think it was justified penalty. So we do it. We only have to look in the mirror in the perspective of that penalty. But if then the refereeing is consistent against Chelsea and Liverpool already, there were no penalties against. But the penalties for us, we don't get them, and they are not consistent. When you see Wan-Bissaka 2 minutes before end against Coventry City conceding a penalty with a handball, and then ours from Anthony just beforehand, we don't get the penalty. And so that's also a part of it, so it's bad luck. But yeah, we play a role as well. When you put yourself in winning positions, bring it over the line.
Hi, Eric. There was some audible booing today from the fans at the substitutions and at full time. Can you understand that from the supporters? Is it a concern from you? Do you think it's just frustration? Why do you think it's happening?
We are fans, but I have to manage a team, and I have, of course, winning games. That's first of all, and see what the game needs. And I think we needed by that time some freshness, first of all, and then but also from tactical wise, bring a player up who can keep the ball, who is creative, and then in the midfield you could see it was a very high intense game. It went up and down, and then you see also some fatigue. And Rasmus, which is a very young player, and Kobbie Mainoo, which is a very young player, and yeah, there we subbed, and it was the right decision. You see, after we took some benefit from it by bringing the fresh legs, with Scott in a position when it's so open, he's very good in such situations, and he can make his penetrations from there. And that also happened, and we put ourselves from there in a winning position. And then the last thing, we have 3 games where Burnley, they had days off. And in that high intense game, yeah, that's totally logical to bring players off who are very young, who are in the first years of the Premier League. And then don't even talk about the injury risk. Rasmus Højlund had more injuries already in the course of this season. Kobbie Mainoo also, and had 2 bad injuries, so I don't want them to get injured, so I protected them as well. So there are more reasons to make the subs, but then I understand that fans, they want to see, they see also the skills those players they are bringing, so contribute to the team. I understand that, but I have to do my job, and that is the right decision.
There's a lot of players at this time of the season claiming it's, fatigue is, and the fatigue will be responsible for mistakes and maybe why they're struggling a bit. A lot of, I don't just mean your players, a lot of players across the league, and you can see that as outsiders on the physical side of it, but there's the mental side of it as well, to keep focused, to keep attuned to it all the time. When you've got young players in the side, it's even tougher mentally for them. Is that an aspect that maybe some of your players, because they're so fresh to it, have struggled with? Is it the mental burden that's maybe been the reason for that?
Sure, it's we have some very young players, and that's why we built this club back, and that takes time, and we built this by bringing in young players, Rasmus Højlund, Alejandro Garnacho, Kobbie Mainoo. They are all in the first season of a Premier League, and the Premier League gets intenser year by year. We have seen the data, and it's much more intense as last season, and especially when you see it over the last 4 or 5 seasons. And those players have to adjust, and that takes time. And I'm sorry for everyone. So I'm very impatient, but there we need patience, and fans, they need patience. And we built here a team, and they need the experience. And yeah, you are right. And they have to, the mental. And when you get fatigue, you have to keep the focus till the end. Till also this season there was an extra fact that they do the extra time. And they are really, it's often 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. So bringing more minutes in the game for to keep the tempo in the game as well. So therefore it's very intense and more volume. And yeah, that is say a limit they have to cross, and they only get it by experiences.
Well, that's the point I was trying to make, that because you bought young players, you're bringing in young players, that people are going to have to wait until next season, maybe the season after that, before they get the benefit of what you're actually trying to do here. That you need the time to actually see the results of what you're trying to put in place.
You express it 100% good. I
Give me
think,
half your contract.
yeah, maybe we have to do.
Last question, Rob.
Maurizio Pochettino the other week said something similar about Chelsea, that you can't judge his Chelsea team now against the Chelsea teams of the past because they've chosen to buy young players. Are you effectively saying the same thing about this United team, that you've chosen to pick young players, and so the judgments against maybe great United teams of the past are way off the mark because they're just not at that level yet?
Oh, absolutely, way off the mark. But also the great Manchester United team, we forget they were also built. I have seen, I think when they are 2005, 2004, 2005, they also didn't play that great football. They were building, and it takes time. But everyone forgets, even the players who are by that time in the team, they forget that they were struggling and that they needed time to progress.
Okay, thank you very much.
Big up, guys. You know what it is. You know how that goes. Let me tell me what you think about the manager's press conference. I'm gonna welcome my buddy Drex. Big up, bro. How you doing on this Sunday morning? I know you're probably
Yo.
working. I know you watched
I'm
the
all
press
right.
conference. I heard a lot about it myself, but I just really watched it. You know what I mean? So in a sense that let's react to it. Let me hear what your thoughts are. Big up to you, GB.
First of all, I'm gonna say it feels like this man has been spoken to about saying things that needs to be said in terms of, before he wouldn't take on the comment about the referee being not so direct or not so consistent in their officiating and all of that, right? But I'm beginning to get from the last 2 3 press conferences, post game reaction from him is, yeah, I'm beginning to get the sense that he's been spoken to, like, call a spade, call whatever you think is not right, call it out, because the more, if you keep quiet, then they will just take you for a ride. Now he was spot on. The penalty against United was indeed a penalty, but what's the rationale for the Anthony one not given? What's the I still don't understand. If Aaron Bissaka considered the penalty in the Coventry game last week about the same type of play, why are they overlooking this one? It feels so much like they wanted a dramatic end to that FA Cup final, and also they want it's been the story of the season so far, if you know what I mean, in terms of how the officiating has been, not just for Manchester United, right, but for clubs also, other clubs also. But taking into consideration Manchester United, it's been the officiating against United has been tough, like you can't even explain it. If it's going to go in favor of United, it's always a question mark. But if it's going against United, oh, it's pretty easy. They just point to the spot and that's it, right? That being said, in general, the game, Mark, I've been saying this week in, week out, and a lot of people just tend to focus their attention on the manager and like try to put everything on the manager. I've been saying this even when the season started, even when we are having a poor run of form from the start of this season. United are not clinical enough. You can't create 27 shots and have 9 on target and have only 1 goal. It doesn't work anywhere, bro. It's that's been the problem. The way United played this season is a case of, if you score us 2, we could score you 4 or 5. But the problem there now is our striker, our players don't. No, I wouldn't say striker per se, but the team don't convert the chances that they get. They they make it look so difficult. I know it's football. What I'm saying now, people might say, but Drex, you haven't played professional football, right? But I played football in some capacity, right? And when my team get to position where we have to take the goal and we don't, I'm screaming my lungs out because I'm like, yo, because I play as a defender, right? So, yo, guys, be clinical, because one mistake at the back from me or from the goalkeeper or from my center back or my pair might just cost us the game, bro. So when you get these chances, don't think it's gonna come over and over and over again, bro. Like, you could create your chances, right? But taking it one, like, you get 3 chances, you put one at the back of the net. It even puts the opposition on the back end, like, yo, these guys are lethal, these guys are deadly. These guys are lethal, and so if they get 5 chances or if they get 3 chances, let's make it safe. If they get 5 chances, they would score. So what do we do? Let's try as much as possible to limit it, because the way we played yesterday, the way we played against Sheffield, the way we even played against Coventry, like you could see, even not going back to even the Bournemouth game, you could see that we in the second half of the Bournemouth game we were a little bit in control of the game. We should have scored more, but we didn't. Like that's been the problem of this season so far. I know injuries is on one side. The coaching, you could argue that it's on another side, but most importantly, and I keep drawing back this Copenhagen game, the one we played at Old Trafford, because I know we lost the reverse, but the one we played at Old Trafford, I keep bringing that into case, right? Because I saw it, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, why you guys? This is early in the season. Why you guys doing this? Then some minutes to go, there was a penalty. If not for Onana, that would have been a 2-2 draw. Onana saved the penalty. That's right, GB. 26 shots yesterday and I keep saying this thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, United faced this amount of shot, this amount of shot." How many goals did those people score? And I kept saying it like, "Yo, I don't care if you play 200 shots, bro. As long as you make use of those shots, it doesn't count to me. Like we could have 26 shots on target and we are scoring 1 goal. It doesn't make sense, bro. So for me, they need to find a way. I don't know. They need to find a way to make these guys more clinical. That's on one hand, right? They need to find a way. And also, if we go back into this season, I want to be true to ourselves. We find out that most of the goals that we've considered are actually individual mistakes. I think that's why the reporter was asking that question. The journalist was asking the question about, is it a mental thing or is just, I know there's sheer physical strain, but do you think that these guys are mentally drained? I don't know what it is, but a lot of our goals that we've considered this season, if you want to be honest with yourself, take a retrospective look at the season and check each game by game, right? You will see that a lot of the goals were actually individual errors that could have been averted, right? Whether it's a mistime tackle, whether it's a positional sense, there are some of those, like the Aaron Wan-Bissaka one. Yeah, he's going to commit himself. His hand is making himself look big. You could give him an excuse for that one. But the Sheffield, we've seen goals that we Onana been part of it. Casemiro, the back line have been part of it. So we even the front attackers. So we can actually say this season has been a bags of missed nuts. Like you don't know what you're getting. You dip your hand in the bag, you don't know what you're getting, and it's something that we need to really, 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 really address. We need to address it. We need to reduce the mistake, be clinical, and yeah, I know it's more like 4 games to go, but if we could improve in these areas, right? Because right now you see how we want to play. You could tell that the manager is actually the transitional play that we most of us have seen all season. I know some people say there's no style of play, and I argue that because they say there's no style of play because it's not winning them games. But I'm telling you, I've seen it. Right, we could see this coming to the end of the season where the transitional style of play. We're seeing what the manager wants to do, but these guys are not taking their chances, bro. These guys are not taking their chances, bro. And I will cry this out to the day darks, bro. These guys are not taking their chances. Like Sheffield United, first half 4-0. This game yesterday, come on. I know there was a lot of people who say Burnley should have scored. Onana made some save. Good, Onana made some save. But it's a case of if Burnley had scored 3, we should have been able to put 6 past them, or minimum 5. So when you want to argue that Burnley had chances, I would argue more that we had chances. We had 9 shots on target. They had 7 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. So for me, Onana saving the shots, right? It actually is his goalkeeping job. But I'm saying he's the last line of defense. But for us, it's more like bro, man. You see the Anthony goal? That goal, when you talk about being clinical, that's an example of what I'm talking about. You don't need. You see the Ahmad type of goal against Liverpool. When we're talking about being clinical, those are the kind. Like you take it one time and you just make sure that you have like you know where the goal is, you're hitting the ball the time with precision and everything, and that's it, bro.
And big up, bro. And I just wanted to come in here and that and what Sachi was saying here, and I just look at it from this perspective. It's one of those things where if you look prospectively how fans see it, a lot of fans see it as if Burnley had taken their chances, we would be down 4 or lose that game. And it's so weird to me seeing that we are dominating the first half, the first 35 minutes, dominant. Possession was up to a high at about 68% or 78% in the first half, in the first 35 minutes. And there's a lot of chances unfinished. And, like I agree with you, Drex. We haven't been able to be clinical, to finish our chances. But the biggest thing for me is that we have a young attack. And yeah, they have had their moments where they were clinical. Hoyland went through that 5 game run where he couldn't stop scoring and getting assists. And then Garnacho had his moments, but they will have that fluctuation in between because they're still young. And I feel like as a fan, yeah, we want to win week in week out, but we don't all we if we look at the realistic situation with our squad, we don't really have any guaranteed backup on the bench that gonna come on and a goal, or
Mark,
be stalwart as a defender.
I understand. I understand all of that you're saying. I understand. But you could see holistically why I say it's you've said it before. A lot of even Mika said it. It's a United right now this season, it's a bag of mixed nuts, right? So it's one issue to the next, right? It's so for me, this taking out okay, we were now you say people argue that Burnley should have been 4, right? But Onana made some save. What's the what everybody wants to be a perfect coach in hindsight. What's the sense in okay, what stops us from actually getting back on level term after Burnley's first goal? And maybe there's a switch that just goes on in their head and be like, you know what? No, if we continue like this, so I'm saying Chelsea did the same thing, and all of a sudden we're back at level terms, right? So this argument of Burnley should have been 4, we had Onana. They were not clinical. I could say that. I could say for Burnley, maybe they hurried their shot or whatever the case may be, but Onana made some fine save, right? But for us, you could see the chances we kept throwing away, right? Get 2 or 3 at the back of the net, and it's a different discussion this morning. That's all I'm saying. I know they are young. I know they're this for Rasmus. It's his first season. We give him players time in their first 2 seasons. I know for that. I'm very aware of that. Ganacho, I'm very aware of that one. But I'm saying I'm not putting it on the players. I'm just telling you the reasons why I feel like okay, a lot of the draws, a lot of the losses, right? Some of the losses have been down to because some of those losses we could have actually salvaged something. Has been down to it's either individual errors or we're not clinical. So I'm just telling you, looking at the season, that yesterday's game, it just depict what most this season has been. You understand what I'm saying? So there are games
100%.
where we could actually go at the players and say there was no effort, there was no passion, there was no desire. But those are a handful games. If you look at the other games, we just don't do it. Burnley was it the same reverse fixture where Bruno had that one that ball from Evans and put
You wonder goal,
bro
yeah.
and bet you mind maybe I'm going to say this, but it's not an excuse. I know professor is in the house, but it's not an excuse. I'm going to say maybe if we had a proper defensive setup, even in the likes of Johnny Evans and Varane or Johnny Evans and Maguire, because I feel like yeah, putting Casemiro back in the middle in his natural position would have helped in these last 2-3 games that we've played, right? But that's a different discussion altogether. So I'm just saying, looking at yesterday's game, I'm like, yo, I saw the way we played. The manager took off Kobe and Rasmus. You could hear his reasons why he's trying to protect these guys and all of that. But the substitution he made were not bad, because when he was making those substitutions in my head, okay, you're trying to steal the game, you're trying to put more bodies in the midfield. Right now, you have outlet. McTominay is going to come in. Shame he has to go out the way he did yesterday. So McTominay comes in and is that person that could actually find his way in the box when there's chances, right? So I wasn't too bad. I wasn't too mad about the. I know a lot of fans might be worried. I wasn't too worried about the substitution. Like we've seen Man City play those kind of football where they take up the striker and they're just playing a false nine, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is great, this is great." But if it's Man City, it's great. But if it's United, I don't know why there's a meltdown.
Well, bro, you know what you know what it is? It's like it's one of those things for me when I look at it prospectively. I'd just be like, sometimes the criticism for Manchester United in certain situations and the coach, we don't keep the same energy for other teams and other coaches. We make excuses. Like if, for instance, if Bruno take a shot outside the box, some fans might be like, "Why he shooting? He should pass." Whereas if De
No,
Bruyne take that same shot and it missed by a larger distance, they'll say, "Oh, he was unlucky there." So for me, I like to keep the same energy for everything. If I go and make an excuse for a manager, I will make the same excuse, especially for my manager. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to say that Eric Ten Hag is the be all and end all, is the greatest
no,
thing since sliced
send
bread.
send the link to Omo.
Yeah, go and drop it in the chat. I just saying that at the end of the day, sometimes, two things could be true. A lot of fans like to blame Eric Ten Hag and say, well, prospectively, another manager could come and do a better job. I was talking to some guys on X last night, a space that, my boy Drill Chester and Never Miss Rob was hosting. And one of the guys strike me as a huge Manchester United fan, but he's absolutely not interested in giving Eric Ten Hag a chance. He makes a great case for the Zerbi. And at the same time, like there I could understand his issue because he is style of play. His basis is style of play. But in my honest opinion, right before I bring Rob in, I'm just saying to myself that, if I had a style of play and I was in 10th or ninth or 11th for most of the season, right?
United fans will
I know
complain.
United fans. United
They
fans
will,
would be
yeah,
manager
sure,
out.
sure, sure.
So for me, everyone can say, well, if we are getting better football, we'd back the manager. But for me, better football is where it is in the league. Whether or not the points on the board and you're standing in the league is where
For
you
me,
are.
for me, style of play is just a whip that most fans want to hold on to, or they want to use to flog the manager because the result is not going the way it should go, right? What who is to say you can, because I like the way they see it. Who is to say you Eric Ten Hag comes in, or sorry, another manager comes in and he doesn't do well? But what's the actual guarantee that he's going to come in and would 100% just kick it start? We There's no guarantee, and there's no guarantee that he wouldn't even flop, because everybody tends to look at the bright side. Oh, get a new manager in, everything just goes all right. And I'll say this before I pass the ball to Rob. I will say this: we are not a manager away. Neither are we 4, 5, 6 players away from winning the league. We are not. We are not a change the manager. Just want you change the manager? No. Even changing the manager and 4, 5, 6 players, we will still not win the league next year and the year after that. I'm gonna tell you that. Tell United fans for free. We will not, because it is gonna be now. When I say change in players and manager, first of the quality of the manager and the quality of the players that you're getting in. If you're getting the same kind of players with the lowest mentality and the work rate, bro, we'll still be here 2026, the back end of 2026. I'll be here to welcome you guys in the camp of don't feel too bad. This is how it is. I'm not gonna say I told you so. I don't have that trait. I'm just gonna say if we don't do what's right, because everybody thinks okay, a manager away, it's fallacy. 4 players away, it's proper fallacy. We are not 5 players away from winning the league. Neither are we a manager away from winning the league.
100%. Olmo,
So,
what's up, my brother? What's going on?
Prof, Prof Alpha,
Mute your mic, Olmo.
yeah, we're good. Do you have a parrot in the house, or you have those?
Who's that, me?
Oh, okay.
Bro, I can't hear Olmo,
Yeah.
Right.
How about now, Mark? You
Now I
hear
can
me?
hear you, bro. Yeah, bro. We can hear you now loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah. Like, because I want to put look at this and be like, oh, okay, I see his coaching style. I want that in. Like, for example, the way we played last year is way better than what we're doing this year. He has turned players into different roles. Like, for example, Bruno Fernandez. He's a box-to-box player. He's not creating anymore. I think he's creating. No, don't get me wrong. He's creating, but the output is not like that, like how it was last year. This year, he has become a box-to-box player, and that's one thing that the manager has done. He has turned Marcus Rashford to a winger. He ain't doing all that. All that winger stuff, he cannot do it. You cannot do it. So now when you change your player's profile, you're mix matching them. You bring in Hoyland, you when you're using him correctly, and that's your signing. I'm like, all this ends up with the manager. The reason why I say I want a manager like Deserby is Deserby give me a style of play. The style of play is very important. Deserby's style of play is better from the back. He's by far one of the best team. Brighton is the best team in the top 5 league in building up from the back. Building up in the middle of the park, building up in the middle of the park is Leverkusen, and building up in the final third is Man City. The data shows it. Those are the top build-up team, and
Mm-hmm.
I want that at Manchester United. Because again, you have a player like Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford is the inside forward. He's not a winger. He's not a winger. We all know that he's not a winger. And you try to turn him to a winger, he's not working. You can see how the
No,
season.
no,
It's
no,
not
no.
working.
Omo, take that back.
Let him
Marcus
go. Let him
Rashford.
go. Let him go. Let him finish.
Wait,
Let him
hold
finish.
up, hold up, wait. As in, him working as a winger, he ain't working. Inside forward, okay, it worked for him. And the reason why it worked last year because of Walsh Wargers. Walsh Wargers is why it worked for him last year. It's not going to work this year. The whole thing is that style of play win you championship. Just to get by and get 3 points, get you nothing. You're not gonna. You might get an FA Cup, you might get a Carabao Cup, you might do go to cup finals, but win the league would never happen if you don't have a style of play. That's a fact.
I mean, I'm not gonna push back too much on
Wait,
that because
Mark. Let me go on him. Let me go. Omo, I'm gonna say this. You said first of all, you said Rashford is a left inside forward, but the man has come several times and said he wants to play at the left wing. So myself, we know this man is good from the left wing. Even if, like you said, and you were correct, last season he played as striker. Most of it he had backup in terms of where who was doing the job, and Bruno was playing a little bit deep on the eighth position, right? So
Yes,
that's so Rashford. That's Rashford. So we all know that Rashford wants to be a left winger. So let's not even make a case for a left forward for him. That's on Rashford. He's come
yes,
out and he has said that.
yes,
Now for the manager style of play, right? Now I'm gonna say this. I know you are one. You are one of the few persons that could say that want the manager out for the style of play. Even if sorry, would not want the manager out if the manager is giving you a definitive style of play, even if it's not winning you games, right? You are the one because you've said it several times, and I believe you're still on that ground that if the manager is
yes.
giving you a definitive style of play, even if you're not winning games, you could actually endure it, right? But now take yourself out of the picture. The manager is giving you the style of play that De Zerbi is giving you, but he's not winning games. Do you think this fan base would be patient to let the said De Zerbi continue?
I think it's 50-50, yes or no. But
So
at
it's
that point,
see, I'm gonna say this, and I think I've told you this before. The style of play, we have a style of play, whether you think we do not win the league or not. So this idea of style of play should be thrown out of the window. We have a style of play. However, it's not bringing the desired result, or then everybody's saying there's no style of play. You guys should be a little bit fair in your in. I'm not saying don't be Eric Tenaga. I'm saying a little bit fair in your assessment, right? Because the style of play is not giving you the desired. We've seen the style of play. We've said that a lot of us have said, "Oh, these guys, if we are converting the chances we are creating, we will be better in the league."
no, no,
Bec-
no, the way I see it is not just like a style of play is not getting the desired result. I'm looking at what he's trying to do, and I'm like, it's not going to work in the Premier League. I'm looking at what
but
he's trying to do, and it's not going to work in the Premier League. And again, I'm just going to look at what he did at Ajax, because it's very important. Because people like, oh, you don't, oh, people ignore what he did at. No, I look at what he did at Ajax. I saw what he did at Utrecht.
mhm.
It didn't work at Utrecht. He went to a nonsense style. It didn't work at Go Ahead Eagles. He went to a nonsense style. When he went to Ajax, he had the best team in the Ajax. That's why he was able to dominate like that. Then you come to Premier League, you're not the best team in the Premier League. That's how it's not gonna work. Because again, you can see it versus Burnley. I knew we were not gonna win that game because in the first half, because how Burnley set up. We had the ball, we were playing possession, couldn't do nothing with it because they stood in a low block and we couldn't hit them on the counter.
Mark, turn down. Mark, can you go back to one of Yale's comments? I think I can find it. Don't worry, don't. I'll read it out here because it makes yeah. Yale says this: after we get the setup in place, it will take about 3 years for us to compete. So we are most likely 4 years away to see a title run. I just said this, right? But Yale, this is where the problem lies in this comment that you have said, and I totally agree with. A lot of United fans will not want this. A lot of United fans are not ready for this. They say it face value. A lot of United fans said last year and the year before that they are ready to sit in the fifth position or ready to sit in the eighth, ninth, 10th position, whatever the case, even as far as relegation, if it meant the Glazers are out. But guess what? 2 seasons forward, we are still like, oh, the manager has to go. The Glazers and Sajin just came and just bailed them out, and all of a sudden it's goodbye. It's hand well done, guys. I'm saying this comment that you've made here, it's the truth. And I've said it earlier, one manager, 5 players away. No, we're not winning the title. But a lot of United fans don't have the patience. And the manager clearly said it in his press conference that we have to be patient. We have, because he even made reference to the 2004 2005 season. And when he was saying, I'm like, yeah, I was just nodding my head. I'm like, yep, yeah, right. But the thing is, for United fans, the W's have to outweigh the L's, right? But they don't want to pay attention to what's happening part time at the football club. It's for them is whatever you could grind the result out, just grind the result out. The said fans want the manager to be in the top 5 race, right? But grind the result out. But when there's injury to it, but I'm in a group and somebody keep saying, why is Casemiro playing center back week in, week out? I'm like, yo, did you just wake up from the bed or have you been in coma for the past 4 5 seasons, 4 5 weeks? Why are you saying the manager? It's obvious we don't have, so these are the kind of fans we're dealing with, and you're like, okay, these guys, what are you guys thinking? Are you guys smoking dry herbs, or what's it that you guys are doing that we are not like? When they make their case, sometimes not the I've seen them almost made some case. Man, I've disagreed with him and I've agreed with a few, but I've seen other people that make case. I'm like, yo, where have you been, bro? Where have you
100%.
been?
And it's like for me, like I wasn't, like I was saying, I was in that chat room with Ulmo in that space like until like 4 this morning, bro. It was lots of good discussions, proper discussions, arguments, pushbacks from all different sides. I prospectively look at the situation as, yeah, we have a squad that we that is decent. If we want to play counter-attacking football, they could be one of the best. But we have moved away from that in when we went to sign Eric Ten Hag. So for me, it was only logical that we would move away from some of the players in the squad, whether it be the ones that already left or the ones that's still here. Because at the same time, we're building a squad that is going to be ready to play the style of play that we chose and the reason why we went for Eric Ten Hag. Now that's going to take time. While at some other clubs it might happen immediately, it might happen in 6 months, in 7 months, in a year. And that does not mean, that is not a barometer that states that for every club it will happen the same way. You have to remember that players' application matters more than a coach's ability. Because no matter what a coach says and does and drills players, if they don't continuously do and focus on the principles and then express themselves on top of that, then you're not going to get that performance you're looking for. And the argument that I had with these guys that none of them seem to answer is the player effort. They all place the blame on the manager to motivate the players, the manager to coach the players, the manager to decide the players must score this goal. And for me, the manager could do all of those things right and drill a team. But if the players on the field after 30 or 40 minutes and the going gets tough and they decide to revert to whatever basic style they used to and feel that is better for them to win the game, how much could the manager do but substitute them? Now, we could say that he could just substitute players who are not listening to his orders, but if you look at the current state of Man United, in reality, we cannot afford to drop the market value of players in the squad that we need to get rid of. And if those players are players that who cannot make it, imagine having 5 or 6 of the current starting 11 sat on the bench for youngsters and going into the transfer window thinking that you're going to get top dollar for them. That's going to be insane. And then if you look at the perspective that Sir Jim Ratcliffe want to build a new stadium and all these things, we want to buy players. Where is the budget coming from if we cannot sell to supplement that? That's
Okay,
just my question.
Mark, I have a question. When the bottom 10 team in the league, do we have players better than them?
That's not, you see, but that's not
No,
that's a theoretical argument
wait.
though. That's a theoretical
Do we,
argument that
Let
has
let
no
me
meaning in
answer. Let me
sports.
answer him. Let me answer him in
That's
terms of
not.
what
That's not.
you where it's going
Before
to.
you go, right? I just wanted to say to you, like Olmo, I respect that question in the sense that it makes sense. Like prospectively, from in theory, United being United would have a better quality team than Burnley, but in actuality, an application on the field, we don't have 22 players that are running through brick walls week in week out. You can see this for yourself. So arguing this point that we have better players, of course we have higher paid players. Of course we have probably higher quality players. But are these players given the same level of effort, level of intensity for 90 minutes as players from Bournemouth, players from Burnley, players from Sheffield, players from Newcastle, players from Nottingham Forest? No. And you can see that on the television. That has nothing to do with our manager, bro. Right? Because at the end of the day, whether you're an athlete or a professional, a creative, whatever effort you put into your work added to your talent and ability will triple and double the results. If you don't play any effort, you will only get as far as your talent could take you. And then you will cap off. And that will be the end. So you have
I'm
to
gonna
always look at it prospectively, bro, in both cases.
let me ask him that same question. Let me ask him: is the Aston Villa team better than United team?
Aston Villa team better than that? It's a better coach team. We
No,
have
I'm not
better
talking
players
about
there.
the
I
coaching now.
think,
I'm talking about the players
yeah,
itself.
we have better players than them.
Okay, why do Aston Villa players run through brick wall for the for each other, not even the manager now? I'm taking him. I like putting the manager out of the equation. Why does the players in Aston Villa, Tottenham? I'm not even going to go to the lower side. Chelsea, what's his name? Arsenal and Man City. Why do they run and play for each other? Then United players don't show the same effort. Remember, Omo, before you answer that question, Ralph Ragnick came into this squad. The players played his style of football for only 25 minutes against Fulham. Only 25 minutes, and it was dusted, because they couldn't run no more. So why? So what's the difference? Why do Aston Villa players have so much energy and so much effort and try to play and implement the manager's tactics? Not like they've been 100% razor sharp, but you could see it. Then why do they do it and our players only do it for maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes?
For those teams, the manager's style of play is well coached, is well drilled into the team. I'm looking at the pitch and I see what they're trying to do, and I could see holes in it. Like, oh, keep doing this. There's a mistake. You see the mistake in the team. For our players, it's not working, and it will never work. You can see, looking at what my manager is doing. I'm like, this is not working. This is not working. The team figured us out already. First 20 minutes, we play our best football. After that, team figured us out already. All you
It's
have
it.
to
No, I'm gonna bring it back to your beloved.
my thing is the players are not. People keep talking about the players are so horrible. Like, no, these players are not so horrible.
I
If
never
Extra
said they
House,
were
No,
horrible.
nobody is saying that the player.
no.
Okay,
I'm saying people think that these players are like horrible. They're bad. Like if Extra House is coaching this Arsenal team, or this Manchester City team, or this Liverpool team, they'll be poor as well.
They won't.
nah, nah,
They will
nah.
be winning.
That
He will be
because
top of the league.
he coached an Ajax team that could run through brick wall for each other. There's Kudus right there. There's
That's
Donny
that's
van der Beek right.
that's why I say he's a tournament man. That's why I say he's a tournament manager. And
No, no,
Ajax,
no, 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 no. It's not It's not a case of tournament manager. Don't let's not start picking let's not pick and choose. At Ajax, he built a team that they could play he built a team that the man got there. It's not like when he got there won the league that same year. He built a team that dominated the league. I know he lost one league. Was it to PSV? but he came back and won the league, right? So he built a team. That's why most of us we say Ten Hag's highest players are system players because they play according to his system. Donny van der Beek left the system and he couldn't flourish anywhere. A few of them have left and they can't really do anything, right? So we know that he's done it. I'm going to ask you this question, Amo. Don't say get new players. This season, Roberto De Zerbi gets in this same United CM players with the reset, so there's no increase in age. Is the same thing, but the same set of injuries and the same set of problems. Do you think that his style of play would be affected with the likes of Maguire and Co at the back line trying to pass from the back? Aro
Yeah,
Ambasaka, the law pass. Okay, you said yeah. Have you seen Brighton's players? Have you seen the intelligence they have when it comes to individual?
Br-
i- Brighton, I said. I didn't say Burnley. Brighton, De Zerbi's players.
yes. We have better players than Brighton, and that's a well-drilled coach thing.
Okay, I'm saying, have you seen how their individual intelligence when they get closed down in some certain areas? Have you seen how they
Yes,
they
yes.
illu- Okay, but for United, when we get close, it's not now. It's
They
not a
still make
system thing.
mistakes as well.
When our players get closed down, when our passing lane gets blocked, right? It's either we make a mistake or we lose possession. For Brighton, I will tell you 8 out of 10. I watched them because a lot of you wanted RODZ. Because of that, I keep watching Brighton's game. A lot of them know how to evade, but the thing is, I see the same problem. Brighton has just two. The injuries Brighton have is just to two major players, and their season done. Mitoma, and it was done. The minute Mitoma went for the AFC Asian Cup, Brighton started having problems. He came back, won 2 games. They were like looking, we're going to win. He got injury and it was done. That's one injury. That's one key player. So when you tell me De Zerbi would do the same, would improve these players that I'm seeing, and don't forget, De Zerbi came to meet a Brighton team that the Potter had coached properly. So there was already it was ingrained inbuilt in the players that this is the style of football that we want to play. De Zerbi came in, did not change anything much. He just came and just polished. He just polished the thing. It's like this furniture is right here. This is the furniture we need. De Zerbi just came and just put a little bit. He didn't even apply grease or anything. He just came, used a cloth to just wipe, and there was no dust. It's the same furniture that was there. That's what he did. So let's not make it look like De Zerbi came into Brighton and under a year and a half is revolutionized Brighton. No. This is Potter's Brighton that Potter had in place. That was the reason why Chelsea went for Potter, because they saw what Potter was doing. Potter had in place a good C system. So let's not make it look like De Zerbi is the king of what's happening now. No. Potter was doing the same thing. That was why Chelsea, like, you know what, this guy is one of the if you want to be fair to yourself and true to yourself, a lot of fans in England and the Premier League were like, oh, Potter, okay, we see what Potter can do. Let's give him a chance as a big club. And he went to Chelsea, and the Chelsea players could not take on his instruction, and that was how he fell out. And a lot of people are like, okay, a lot of people are saying don't get Potter at United, but I'm saying if they want to go with Potter, I don't have a problem because I've seen what this guy can do. I will not be one of those fans that will just say, okay, because somebody had a bad patch somewhere, then he's totally outright. He's rubbish. No. I'm not. If he comes to
100%.
United, I'm not. So let's not make it like De Zerbi is one super. No. I'm not gonna take it.
No,
De
no,
Zerbi
I'm
from.
not. What I'm saying is, yeah, where I'm at is me last week speaking. What I'm saying is, when I see Deserby, that build up in the back, Potter didn't have it. When you said they get out tight spaces, Potter didn't have it. Deserby team is one of the best teams that does it, and when they don't do it well, like 8 out of 10 times they get it right. The one time they don't get it right, they score. You see that versus Man City. But again, they were able to build up in the back to get to the final third. You can see versus Man City, they just couldn't score. They didn't have the players to score. Now, if you give him Manchester United players, this squad, he score goals. Easily, we'll
Bro,
not be where we are right now. We'll be fine. We'll be
listen,
fine to
right?
be at 4. We'll ask them good for that top 4.
Not with this.
Hypothetically,
No,
bro,
not
in a
With
way,
the injury, with this current
not
crop of
with the,
players.
not with the
not with the
players and
injuries, bro.
not with the problem we had. Not with the players and not with the problem we've had. Not with these players and not coupled with that. Not with the problem we've had. If you tell me move 5 on and bring 5 on, move 5 off and bring 5 back in the squad. Then you want to get Deserve in, and you want to make sure that you above him, you're dealing with the ego and all of, because Deserve just had Trossard to deal with, and you see what happened. They let Trossard go. Cancelo for Man City had a little bit of
Yeah, but
problem. No, I'm going to bring something to you now that let me bring something to you that we fail to realize, and I always talk about it, because I don't like just leaving it in isolation. Cancelo had a problem with our player, with the manager. They let him go, right? So is
yeah.
this season? We found out that, oh, okay, Sancho had a problem with, and the manager would have left Sancho on if Sancho just said, "I'm sorry."
Bro, you'd have be
Okay,
starting week in, week out. Week in, week
let's
out.
answer this ball games question. I think let's answer this ball games. He said, Mark Rex.
With Sancho would never been an issue because the communication would be way better. It's like it is how can I speak English, so that's that.
So for hypothetically, if we do decide to let Eric Ten Hag go, who would be your choice to come in, bro? Looking at Mark, you want go first?
Looking
Because
for
right now,
looking at the managers currently available, bro. I don't know. Possibly, honestly, I kind of have a fancy for Ruben Amorim. I like him. If not him, I would go for Carlo Ancelotti because that was always my manager pick when Salex was leaving. You know, I think Carlo Ancelotti is one of the best managers in the world. And to be honest, bro, is like the only thing I would think about it from that on is that it's not going to be a drastic improvement even when that manager come unless we sign players. It's always going to be down to removing some players and signing some players because I don't think, right, that the squad is built in a way that it could really adapt itself to fit a new system or to fit a manager. Like I know people talk about Thiago Motta, but Thiago Motta has not been successful at Juventus to the extent of coming to get a Manchester United job.
no. I think he's at Bologna now.
He's at Bologna now, but Bologna is doing well. But I mean, you see, people have to always consider the things that there's take away from Ten Hag. Bologna is in
Wait,
Italy. Italy is one of the most defensive leagues.
I'm gonna go real quick because my internet's about to go out. Like,
All right,
listen, for me, so long as the manager's not extra help, I don't care what the manager is. All I need is the manager to come in and coach the team, and you get the players as they come along. You will never get all your players. You never get all your players. Just come in and coach the team, and everything will work out. I'm gone.
big up, Omo.
Big up, Omo. For me, Mark, to answer that question, right? There's no, if we let Eric Ten Hag go, no, that's the question. I would want United to get a manager that the media would have respect for, that the media can't say shit about. So if he talks, they listen, right? One, or get a manager that the minute he comes in through the door, you're telling him, yo, even if he's the Amorim, even if he's a unknown name that we don't know as fans, right? Let him in and like, yo, listen. Let the guy come in and say, look, listen, we're gonna put you through on how to face this media, so that from day one you don't get this old disrespect that they tend to do with United managers, right? That's one. And two, back the manager. But if you want to get a new manager mentor, then you're telling me that you want to get 6-7 players out the door. If that's not happening, there's no need for me to. I can't even answer that question.
I mean, bro, Jax, what's going on with the internet, buddy? Going in and out.
Yeah, getting a phone call on my phone, so that's why though. So I can't really answer that question. But if, for all intent and purpose, to answer that question, if there's no Nagelsmann is off the table, I don't want to show. Nagelsmann would have been my preferred option. I would have taken Ralf Rangnick back if he was available. But yeah, Amorim maybe not. But my preferred option would have been Nagelsmann. And just because I'm put on the spot to actually pick a manager, I don't. For me, until Ten Hag leaves, I'm on that hill, bro.
100%.
Even if the manager was Southgate,
I
Until the
mean,
man leaves, I'll be on that hill because I know what's going on, and
yeah.
I feel like I have an idea of what's happening, and the manager itself cannot be the changing the manager is not the solution. I'll put a shotgun name out there. I would even take Porter
I
as it
mean,
stands now.
for
I'll
me,
take to
like I
answer
said,
Monta Ball's game to be true. Nagelsmann is
or
not there,
Porto.
or Porter.
I mean, that's fair, bro. Like, I don't know what you guys in the comments think, which manager you guys might want. I mean, it's fair game in any regards, but for me, I would just back the manager that's here right now because from my perspective, big up to you, Jarvis. Hope you're doing well, my bro.
Yeah, big
You
up
know,
Jarvis.
I mean there are lots of managers that I watch week in week out play football. I watch a lot of Bundesliga, I watch Italian league as well. So, it could always see a fancy and see a manager with a squad that performing well, his style of play working, looking good and attractive.
Iriaola too, though. Iriaola is a
Iraola is
shout.
not a bad manager as well. I think I like to see what he doing with Bournemouth. But for me it's like we look at all these managers' style of play with the teams that they're at, but we don't even take into account the players that they have. Yeah, sure, we could look at the face value and say some of these players not at the level or at the value of some of the Manchester United squad. But like I always say, football is not about the theoretical and the paper. When you get on the field, what is about the application? And sometimes application, and this is why Scott McTominay, for me, I mean, as much as I don't really rate him, I don't hate him. I kind of like him a lot because his attitude, this guy is going to come out and at least try his very best every time, whether he's going to be good or not. And if we could get that basic level of determination and effort from other players, I think United, I don't think it have a team that would beat United. But at the same
Yal
time, the reality is we don't have that.
Yale, Inter and Zaghi, right, bro? Don't even, don't. Inzaghi at Inter, bro. I know you're not part of the fans that actually cry wolf, but a lot of fans will cry wolf. Inzaghi, a lot of fans will cry wolf when the season start hitting rock bottom. A lot of fans will want him out. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but his style and the Premier League and what we have, like, nah, man. It might. I wouldn't just call it outright, but it would be a problem, right? It would be a problem that from the get go, you guys would see it and be like, oh man, it's like we've shot ourselves on the foot. Mark, I have like less than
Big up, bro.
3 minutes.
Thank you for joining me,
Let
bro.
me let me just because I don't know if I'll be able to text while I drive now. My Arsenal. What game do we have today? Arsenal and Tottenham and what else?
Hold
Nottingham
on one sec,
Forest.
one sec, one sec.
Nottingham Forest and what should I call it?
We have Arsenal, we have Bournemouth, Brighton today. Arsenal, Tottenham, Nottingham, Man City.
Okay, Bournemouth, Brighton. Give me Brighton should win that game. Give me uh 3-1 Brighton. Brighton are away, right? Are they home?
Brighton away.
Oh, Brighton are home. Oh, give me maybe make it a light 2-1 Brighton. Then Arsenal, Tottenham, Arsenal. The high line, make it a 2-2 draw. Then for Nottingham Forest City, make it 3 a 3-1. No, 4-1 City.
Bro. I can't remember if you had predicted the Villa Chelsea game yesterday, bro.
I did. I said 2-2. I put it on the WhatsApp. I sent it to you on the WhatsApp.
2-2, right? And
Yeah.
that was the same scoreline you predict for Everton Brentford as well, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Big up, bro. Big up, bro.
Right.
And I don't know
All
if
right,
anyone.
guys.
Thank you for joining me, bro.
Smash the like button, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. It's Sunday. It's a good day. Yeah, it's a good day. Good day, a working week, a blessed week ahead. Just smash the like button. Keep it sane, keep it simple. Don't get too stressed about United because guess what? I see the light at the end of the tunnel. You guys might not be saying it, but I'm saying it. And it's a bright one. Don't get it twisted. Joy will definitely and would come in the morning. Guys, I'm out of here. Bye.
Big up, Drexy. I would have liked to invite Jarvis this morning, but I didn't know if he was busy or what he was doing. I would have liked to hear his opinion. Last night I was hearing him on Northern Channel giving his, analysis of the game, and I was pretty much in alignment with him. And I understand that, I feel like now I could understand more about what I was seeing in the game. And I would like to big up Jarvis for his explanation on the performance last night live on United Real Therapy. That was really insightful, bro. Thanks so much. Big up to all you guys, mental ball game. You know what it is, guys. I'm the super optimistic fan in here. I'm always going to try to be a lot positive because I'm Man United at the end of the day. It's my club and I will back them, you know. And yeah, Jarvis, for me, like, I feel like a lot of people were saying we were awful yesterday, and I feel like I was seeing a lot of patterns of play repeating itself. I was seeing, the team looking a little bit more, shape wise consistent going forward and coming backwards. I mean, I know it's Burnley, but I feel like we have some players like it looks like they're finally understanding their roles and what they need to do as the team transition through different phases. So, I feel like it's like a work in progress and it's tough. You know, Splitting the centre backs high and wide while dropping two number sixes down to play triangles with Onana was a fresh approach. We successfully played out from the back and in a controlled manner. Yeah, Jarvis, 100%. I feel like I was seeing a lot of good things yesterday. I mean, sure, the season wasn't great so far. We had a lot of bad performance previously, but yesterday and even in the game the previous week, I felt like the performances looking more like team play, more like something that we could start saying, hey, this looking okay. We could work with this going forward. And I just wanted to give a props to the players. Yesterday was a tough loss for me. For the last couple game weeks, we've been seeing a lot of bad calls from the referees, and I'm not blaming the referees for our results, but I'm just saying, guys, these are also things that affect the players' mental during games. And, you have to give the players a little bit of applause because in previous game weeks, I feel like if these things were happening, we would capitulate and lose the games embarrassingly. And we haven't. We've kept our heads up and we've knocked on doors and tried. And, maybe the clinicality will improve. Like I keep saying, it's a young attack we have and it will get better. Yes, Jarvis. A lot of that performance in the back, playing off from the back, it allowed us to create a lot of overloads with better distribution higher up the pitch. This is in contrast to the other games where we often resorted to long balls. And I had also noticed we hardly played long balls yesterday, Jarvis. And I don't know if keeping the ball on the ground in the first half for the first 35 minutes is what kind of set the tone, but we had a bit of a tempo about us for like at least a portion of the game where we were seeing a lot of possession. And of course it slowed down coming to the end of the game, but it was pretty decent to watch and enjoyable in my opinion. And I'll be the first, Jarvis says, he'll be the first to admit it's not perfect for 90 minutes, but it's definitely progress in our play. Big up to you, my bro. And thanks so much to all of you coming in. I would just like to tell you guys, thank you so much. Big up to you, Kenny Fan TV. Big up to you, Mental Ball Game. Big up to you, Yali Manmin, the stat man, always in the building. Big up, broski. Big up to you, Box. Big up to you, Joe Blackman, and big up to you, Ronald Jacob, bro. Thanks for coming through. You guys are always welcome if you ever feel like you want to come on and have your say. I always drop the links and keep them pinned. So big up. Thanks for coming in. Never miss Rob. And big up to you, GB, for coming in earlier. I know you're probably having your Caribbean lunch today. You know how it goes, bro. You got to have that meal, Less chaos, more control. And Jarvis, thanks for sending that information out so I could read it out because that was the perfect closing comments about the performance of our game yesterday. And I look forward to seeing better performances. And I'm gonna back this team because this is Manchester United. And maybe some players might not be here next season. Maybe the manager might change. But you know what? We'll still be Manchester United. And hand on heart, guys, I love this club. Big up to everyone watching. Hope you have a great day. See you all tomorrow. It's been your boy, MarkN MUFC Fan, along with Drex, as well as Almost Solo, and the closing remarks from the tactician master himself, Jarvis Cocker. Big up, everyone. I'll see you guys.